Hello, it's me. Welcome once again to Jessica's Cooking Show. Today we are stepping it up because I brought an apron. To keep with the theme of being a formal official chef, we're stepping it up today. So before, I was always cooking stuff that my parents made when I was growing up, right? Ooh, it gives me home field advantage. I've seen it cooked. I know how it should taste. I remember mom yelling, don't do that, when I tried to help. So today, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna cook something different, something new. I'm gonna blow some minds. By that I mean probably just mine, since it's just me here. And Anna's gonna beg for the food whether it's good or not. But it's, So I went online and I thought, do I want lasagna or do I want stuffed shells tonight? And then boom, Google hit me with that lasagna stuffed shells. So I'm making that. Onward! Alright, so this starts by telling me to preheat my oven. So far, I love these directions because they have me do the things that I always forget to do. Some may say, rookie mistake, to not preheat your oven always. And to them, I say, are you wearing the apron? Didn't think so. Also, random behind the scene thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's probably I have some little tink 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 background music going, just, to entertain you or whatever. So when I'm cooking, because of YouTube copyright and stuff, I can't listen to music like I used to. So I just need you to understand that it's me standing in silence talking to no one. I can't sing along, there's no background noise. So when it's just cooking, it's just me standing, reflecting on my life and the decisions that have brought me to this point. But anyway, first thing I need is a pot. So I've learned 0 lessons and have to cook a lot of shells. But once again, I still have not bought a giant pot in which to cook a lot of things. Some people learn from their mistakes, others just revel in them. I'm gonna have a vent session with you guys right quick. This recipe calls for 18 shells. These are jumbo shells. In the store, I spent a good 3 minutes trying to find where the number of shells was anywhere on this box. It's not there. So then I'm already annoyed because now you're making me do math. I gotta look at the side panel and look at the serving size and the servings per container. You should not make me have to do multiplication when I'm already cooking, which I can barely do. So anyway, long story short, there's 12, okay? There's 12 shells in here. And I know the average person would say, 12 probably close enough. You're just stuffing the shells. But I said, no, it must require 18 shells. I don't know why I did that. So I bought a whole second box. And I already feel like I'm just not gonna use it. So maybe I'll stuff some different shells another night. Maybe I was just planning ahead. Have more faith in me. Come on. This thing called for 1.5 pounds of meat, which already tells me I'm gonna have way too much food. All right. I don't want to admit it, but in the interest of transparency, I definitely had the wrong eye turned on and nothing was happening to the water that was supposed to be boiling, so off to a good start. Oh dear. But guys, something insane did happen while I was shopping. There were some ingredients on the list that I went to buy that I then remembered I already have here. I'm now a person with spices in her home. Spicy! Apparently this is supposed to be at a rolling boil before I throw in the jumbo shells. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Hey, 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 hey. 5, 6. Alright, minor update. Apparently I can't read because it says serving size of 2 ounces, not 2 shells. And apparently 2 ounces shells is about 6 shells. So I bought just way too many shells. Ugh. What am I supposed to do with all these shells? That is the most jarring alarm. Okay. Now we drain. Crushed it! For this recipe, I made a point to look at the prep time, which is supposed to be only 20 minutes. Because we don't want another sweet potato fiasco. Boiling water and cook until 35 minutes? I got things to do! Now I gotta drain the stuff. I always drop something or burn myself. Okay. What do you do when there's no excess grease to drain? Step says drain the grease. Huh. Okay. I guess that's fine then. I mean, I did buy lean ground beef, right? Cool, that step's done. So now we stir in tomato paste, tomato sauce, and then all the spices that I already had because I'm spicy. Is there like a right way to get tomato paste out? Because I feel like it's just me not being successful. Now it's time to add the spice. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Make it last forever. Friendship never ends. I mean, my next instruction is to bring to a simmer and then cook for 5 minutes. I just feel like it's like too thick to simmer. Whatever. I'll just wing it. It's fine. I recognize that this is primarily probably because I'm slow, but we are way over our time limit. 20 minutes, my butt. Alright, the next step of this says to spread half of the sauce onto a 9 by 13 inch baking pan. Considering I only have the one baking pan, I've elected to determine that it is in fact 9 by 13. And I think that that's how math and science works. Didn't let me down with the jumbo shells or anything. This recipe calls for 3 cups of cottage cheese, which if I'm not mistaken, is like this whole thing, which just feels like a lot of cottage cheese. So I brought everything together. And honestly, like, high hopes. That doesn't look like the worst thing I've ever seen. So now it's time for the oven. And while this cooks, now comes our all-important lessons learned segment. Lessons learned today. Gonna say trust nothing and no one. Specifically the prep time on recipes you find online. While I am wearing an apron, I am not a pro chef. And I'm also not the freaking Flash and can't move at lightning speed around my kitchen. Second lesson. Packaging is deceptive. So when you're reading the serving size and the number of servings in the thing, do you read the fine print? Because they're trying to trick you. Lesson learned number 3. If you have like a lot of leftover stuffing stuff that didn't make it into the shells and you're not really sure why, don't question it. Just consider it leftover love. It's probably totally was supposed to be that much left. And the final lesson is that I still have not learned to clean as I go. So my kitchen looks like a nightmare. Okay, but guys, try and tell me that's not bomb. Like that looks good. Okay, moment of truth. It's not the worst thing I've ever tasted. Also not the greatest. There's far too much of something, and I don't know what it is. Well, I'll call this a success. Give it like a B or something. I mean, like, still my dinner. And so anticlimactically concludes another episode of Jessica's Cooking Show. Thanks for joining me again. And to all you fellow cookers out there, fellow chefs, why? This is hard. Look at all this time. What are you doing? So much time.